Sam was the kind of guy who kept to himself. Quiet, reserved, an introvert through and through. But everything changed the day she moved in next door. Let me tell you about the woman who turned his world upside down. It was a sunny afternoon when the new neighbors arrived. Sam watched from his window as a sleek car pulled into the driveway next door. Out stepped an older man, frail and slow, and then her. She was stunning, long dark hair, curves that seemed to defy time, and a smile that could light up a room. Sam felt his heart race just looking at her. He didn't know it yet, but his life was about to change forever. A few days later, there was a knock on Sam's door. He opened it to find her standing there, her husband a few steps behind. She introduced herself as Clara, her voice smooth and warm, like honey. Sam stammered through his greeting, his cheeks burning as she smiled at him. Her husband was polite but distant, already retreating into the background. Clara, though, she seemed to see something in Sam. Her eyes lingered on him, her gaze intense, almost curious. As they talked, Sam felt something he hadn't in years, a spark, a pull. Clara's laughter was infectious, and the way she leaned in slightly when she spoke made his pulse quicken. When they left, Sam couldn't stop thinking about her. That night, he lay in bed, replaying every word, every glance, every smile. Over the next few weeks, Clara found reasons to visit Sam. At first, it was small things, borrowing sugar, asking for help with her garden, or needing a hand to move a piece of furniture. But each visit lasted longer than necessary. She'd linger in his doorway, her eyes scanning his face as if trying to memorize every detail. Sam, who had always been so shy, found himself opening up to her in ways he never had with anyone else. One evening, she came over alone. The sun was setting, casting a warm golden glow through the windows. Clara was wearing a simple summer dress that hugged her curves in all the right places, and Sam couldn't help but notice how the light caught in her hair. She brought a bottle of wine, claiming it was a thank you for all his help. They sat on his couch, the space between them shrinking with every passing minute. Clara's laughter filled the room, soft and melodic, and Sam found himself drawn to her like a moth to a flame. She told him stories about her life, her travels, her dreams, her regrets. Sam listened intently, his eyes never leaving hers. At one point, she reached out and touched his hand, her fingers brushing lightly against his skin. "You're different, Sam," she said, her voice low and intimate. "I like that about you." Sam's breath hitched. He could feel the heat of her touch spreading through him, igniting something deep inside. He tried to speak, but the words caught in his throat. Instead, he leaned in slightly, his heart pounding so loudly he was sure she could hear it. Clara didn't pull away. Her eyes dropped to his lips, and for a moment, the world seemed to stand still. Then, slowly, she closed the distance between them. The first kiss was soft, tentative, as if they were both testing the waters. But when Sam felt her hand slide up to his neck, pulling him closer, the kiss deepened. It was hungry, desperate, filled with all the longing they'd been holding back. Clara's lips were warm, her touch electric, and Sam felt like he was drowning in her. They broke apart, breathless, their foreheads resting against each other. Clara's eyes were dark with desire, and Sam could see the same hunger reflected in her gaze that he felt burning inside him. "This is wrong," she whispered, but her hands were still tangled in his hair, pulling him closer. "I don't care," Sam replied, his voice rough with emotion. And in that moment, he meant it. All the guilt, all the fear, It all melted away under the heat of her touch. They didn't talk much after that. Words felt unnecessary when their bodies said everything they needed to. The room grew darker as the sun dipped below the horizon, but neither of them noticed. For Sam, the world had narrowed down to Clara, her touch, her scent, the sound of her breathing. It was a night he knew he'd never forget, no matter how hard he tried. After that night, Sam was consumed. Clara became his secret, his obsession. They met in stolen moments, quick kisses in the garden, whispered promises in the dark. But as much as Sam wanted her, he couldn't shake the guilt. He knew this couldn't last, that it would end in heartbreak. One day, Clara stopped coming over. Her husband's health had worsened, and she had to focus on him. Sam watched from his window as she tended to her husband, her face etched with worry. He wanted to go to her, to tell her how he felt, but he couldn't. Some loves aren't meant to be, no matter how much you want them. Sam never forgot Clara. She was the woman who showed him passion, desire, and the pain of loving someone you can't have. And sometimes, late at night, he still wonders what might have been.